Giving other people advice is one of the most irritating and useless activities known to man. To argue without knowledge is like trying to weave without thread. The only way to do it is to do it, by writing, writing, writing. That's maturity, when you realize that you've finally arrived at a state of ignorance as profound as your parents. Sekhmet crawled onto Ramses's lap and began to purr. "The creature oozes like a furry slug," said Ramses, eyeing it without favor. "It may take us a little longer to reach the summit, but never fear, we will get there." If someone lies down and invites you to trample upon him, you are a remarkable individual if you decline the invitation. No woman really wants a man to carry her off. She only wants him to want to do it. It was hate at first sight, clean, pure and strong as grain alcohol. It is difficult to be angry with a gentleman who pays you compliments, even impertinent compliments. Especially impertinent compliments. Martyrdom is often the result of excessive gullibility. Nothing looks as self-satisfied as a contented cat. The approval of a cat cannot but flatter the recipient. The combination of physical strength and moral sincerity combined with tenderness of heart is exactly what is wanted in a husband. Amila Peabody. Exaggeration is the cheapest form of humor. Getting an idea for a book is not the problem, but you need 300 ideas, an idea a page. Children, I feel, are as much entitled to privacy as human beings. The trouble with unknown enemies is that they are so difficult to identify. When one is striding bravely into the future, one cannot watch one's footing. A lady cannot be blamed if a master criminal takes a fancy to her. Humor is an excellent method of keeping a tight rein on unproductive displays of emotion. It is much more sensible to be an optimist instead of a pessimist, for if one is doomed to disappointment, why experience it in advance? The way to get on with a cat is to treat it as an equal, or even better, as the superior it knows itself to be. A fondness for martyrdom, especially of the verbal variety, is common to the young. Most men are reasonably useful in a crisis. The difficulty lies in convincing them that the situation has reached a critical point. Cats always pick the laps of the people who don't like them. Reputations are shaped not by facts but by prejudices. Conventional history completely ignores half the human race. Many persons lead lives of crushing boredom. Superstition has its practical uses. A man asking for help ought to at least give directions. There are too many people in the world as it is, but the supply of ancient manuscripts is severely limited. But the dust and the clutter, my housewifely and scholarly instincts were equally offended. It is easier to counterfeit old age than youth. Husbands do not care to be contradicted. Indeed, I do not know anyone who does. Noble causes have a deplorable effect on the morals of the persons who espouse them. People who relate what they believe to be new and startling information like to have such information received with exclamations of astonishment and admiration. Dogs can be made to feel guilty about anything, including the sins of their owners. Cats refuse to take the blame for anything, including their own sins. If all else fails, we will simply have to drug our attendants, overpower the guards, raise the oppressed peasants to arms, and take over the government. If you take a man by surprise, and behave with sufficient arrogance, he will generally do what you ask. Emerson.